Good morning, students, and welcome back to the class. Hope all of y'all are doing fine. And after coming back from our short vacation, so now let's continue into our lesson, that is some properties of water. Okay, so first we're going to look into the conditions of making a solution. So the following are some conditions which affect the making of a solution. Now, if you stir the solute, for example, we are taking the example of a solute being sugar. Okay, in the solvent, the solution is formed faster. So we all know that when you put some sugar in water, we take a spoon and we begin to stir the water, correct? So what happens when we stir the solute, that is the sugar, in the solvent, that is water, the solution is formed faster. Okay, so all of y'all, I hope all of y'all remember the action that we learned. So when a solute is joined or dissolved in the solvent, it forms a solution. So same thing, if we begin to stir the sugar that we put inside the solvent, that is the water, it dissolves. Next one. If the solvent, that is water, is warmed and the solute is then added to it, the solution will be formed in less time. So now if we happen to have the solvent, that is water, which is warm, you happen to make it warm, and then when you dissolve the sugar, that is the solute, when you add the solute into the warm water, the solution will be formed in less time. You can say that it will form more faster than being stirred. Okay, so always warm water or when the solvent is warm, and when you put the solute into it becomes a solution very quicker. Then the next one, the solute dissolves faster in a solution when broken into smaller pieces or powdered. Okay, so for example, now we all have sugar. Yes, we all have sugar, and they're all in very tiny cubes. Now sometimes while they bake cake, or if they have to do something else, they happen to powder sugar. So they're telling us, now if you get the solute in powdered form, it's even more faster and it will be dissolved even more faster. Okay, so they say the solute dissolves faster in a solution when broken into smaller pieces, or in simple words, we call it as powder. Okay, moving on. The solute dissolves faster in a solution, yes, when broken into smaller pieces. So you can see the picture here. Yes, so when it's powdered, it becomes a powdered form, no? So immediately when you put it into the solvent, what happens? It dissolves on its own and it doesn't need to be stirred. Okay, now the last point says, increasing the quantity of the solvent helps in forming the solution in lesser time. So increasing the quantity of a solvent is nothing but when we have the water, that is the solvent, is a large quantity. Okay, so it is larger or it is more. Okay, say it's a huge glass and you've filled it up almost to the brim, and the solute that you're using is going to be very small. So what happens? The solution is formed faster because the quantity of the solvent, that is the water, is big. Okay, now moving on to common soluble and insoluble substance. Let us learn what are soluble and insoluble substance. Substance that dissolve in water are called soluble substance. So something which are able to dissolve in water, that is completely being mixed or completely being dissolved in water, is called as soluble substance. What are they called, children? Soluble substance. Very good. The next one, substance that do not dissolve in water are called insoluble substance. Substance that don't dissolve in water. How much ever I mix or try to do anything, whatever I try to do, it does not dissolve. So it is called insoluble substance. Okay, So let's repeat again. Substance that dissolve in water is called soluble substance, and substance that do not dissolve in water is called insoluble substance. Yes, so all of you all understood that substance that dissolves in water are called soluble substance, and substance that do not dissolve in water are called insoluble substance. Now let us see objects that float or sink in water. Okay, objects that are heavier than water, always they sink in water. If they are heavier than water, if they have properties that are more heavier than water, it sinks. But objects that are lighter than water, what happens? They come to the brim and they float. They stay on the brim and they float in water. Okay, so let's see the few substances. Objects that float or sink in water. Let's see the few things that float or sink in water. So first one, a stone, spoon and coin sink in water because they are heavier than water. So stone, as you can see in the picture, spoon and coins are heavier than water, and what happens? They sink in water. Moving on to objects that float in water, that is wood, sponge, feather, or even the thing that you use in your swimming pool, you use that round bloated thing that is also made of plastic. So what happens? It also floats in water. It helps you stay on water and doesn't help you and does not allow you to drown. Okay, so these are the few things that float in water. Okay, then now lastly, let's have a small wrap up before we end our chapter. Okay, let's all read it together. I want to make sure that all of you all are reading it with me. Water is colorless, tasteless, and odorless liquid. Water is present on earth in all three states: solid, liquid, and gas. Water has a fixed volume but has no fixed shape. A solution is formed when two or more substances together mix together uniformly. Substance that get dissolved in another substance is called solute. Substance in which the solute gets dissolved is called the solvent. Substance that dissolve in water are called soluble substance, and substance that do not dissolve in water is called insoluble substance. Okay, very good, children. So we have come to the end of our chapter. I'll be doing all the experiments that are remaining in our textbook during our classes. So make sure you go through the video so that you can understand better, and I will see you in the next class. Thank you.